Welcome to this video, which will be a very brief video on how to create categories in the WordPress.com websites. I will assume at this point that you have your WordPress site ready to go, and in this particular video you may see a twist in that I'm using Windows Internet Explorer 10, which doesn't work that differently, but because you'll be seeing this kind of screen probably this fall, Windows 7 and Windows 8 are likely to be on campus. I wanted to at least expose you to this part. I'm going to go into Internet Explorer, or whatever browser you want to use is fine. This is my current WordPress site. It is not pretty. It's basically for just teaching, so there's no rhyme or reason necessarily behind it. Just remember, if you're wanting to log into, I'm going to sign out of it. If you wanted to log into your account to be able to work on the backside, you have to go into WordPress.com. Hopefully you can see this on my screen. It is at the bottom of the screen rather than the top when you're dealing with Internet Explorer version 10. So I'm typing in WordPress.com and I get this screen with the login. Hopefully you remember your username and password. This is mine, not yours. And if you cannot absolutely get into your account because it's been a while, maybe since you've used the one you created several small exercises ago, then you may need to create a new one by clicking on Get Started, and I'll help you with that if you'll message me. Just don't wait until the end of the semester at the last minute where you create impossible situations. I'm signing into mine, and this is the backside right now. Typically you can get into your account by clicking on one side or the other, top left with the WordPress logo, or over on the far right where it's got the picture, and mine happens to be named Music and Mathematics. If I click on that, again, the title of my page is not necessarily the same as my username and password. This is the backside of my site that is called the dashboard. And again, if you want to go back and forth between them, you can click on the name of the site. Again, I've got my login, Michael Sisk CCC, and the title of my site, Music and Mathematics. They may be different, they may not. It depends on how you personally have set it up. This is the front end that the world sees. And again, since I've done this with a number of classes, you'll see a number of items in there. To get on the back side, you just find the word dashboard. Again, go to either side of the top of the screen to find the word dashboard and pick your way to enter the dashboard. I want to use this opportunity to show you how to create categories. This is the way that the basic WordPress websites are driven. Categories. So your categories may be movies, it may be family, it may be computer articles, it may be current events, it could be anything. So when you see mine, you'll see a number of categories already there because I've taught this to so many people already. To get to categories, move over to the dashboard, and over on the left column you will see the word post, P-O-S-T-S, and just move over and you'll scroll down and see the word categories. I'm going slowly, and again, pause the video at any point and replay it if you need to. Click categories. Categories are very easy to make, and I won't get into the parent issue just to keep this simple as a small exercise. You simply add a new category. Now I'll do mine alphabetically at the top of the screen because you can see on mine that I have quite a few categories already in place. So I'll do one called Apple products. And I just named the category, and I always look for a blue button with white letters. Down here it happens to be at the bottom of the screen. You can describe the category if you want to, but the name is sufficient. If you wanted to be, I'll go ahead and address this anyway. If you wanted this to be a subset of another category, you deal with this thing called parent. For example, if I wanted Apple to be a parent, Apple to be a child rather, a subcategory of something like news, I could use that. To make it simple for you though, if you're the more nervous type of student, then just use the name category, don't worry about parent, and just click on add new category. And it should give you results, and notice that Apple products happens to be at the top of my screen. That's the most recent entry that I made. It's not alphabetical yet because I'm still creating. I can add as many categories as I want to. I may have one that is called comfort food. Doesn't matter. And click add new category. Pretty simple process to make. Some students will struggle because they just have bad luck with computers on some days, and again, those students can communicate with me by Blackboard or in my office if necessary. And you can go back to your site. You won't see anything fantastic necessarily, as a result of this, but I can certainly go back to my website and look at. And depending on the theme or the appearance that you chose for your site, you can, in my case, I have a drop-down menu and my categories are listed here. Now, if the category is not showing up, you'll say, well, my Apple product category and my comfort food is not showing up. It will not show up in my list until I have a post associated with it. So I'm going back to my dashboard and I'm going to create just a very simple post. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy right now, just to get reacquainted with it if this applies to you personally. And I can either click all posts and it will show me the button that says add new, or I can get add new directly from the post menu. Just click add new, which means a new post. Everything in WordPress, whether you're putting a video, pictures, text, or what have you, will be referred to as a post because WordPress originally was a blog. Just click on add new. And it looks like I've got a little bit of a hiccup right here. Hopefully this won't take very long to process. I'm in the office area right now, and sometimes I'll get switched off from NetLabs to the local hotspot. It depends on what kind of hiccup that my system is having. Hopefully I won't have to pause and do this for a very long period of time. Let me see if I can get this to quit hiccuping on me. I may have been switched over. And I'm going to talk so you won't think that there's anything wrong with your video. I'm stammering on purpose because I don't make videos and make them perfect because I just don't have the hours with the number of students and meetings and needs that a lot of people have. So thank you for your patience ahead of time if you're not a real patient person by nature. Let me go back to the dashboard and see if I can do this again. I'll go to post. I'll click add new. There we go. All right. And let's say my new post is about Chick-fil-A food. So I'll call it Chick-fil-A food. And again, to make things simple, you'll notice here also, even though it may not be significant now, it will be in my next video, you'll see a tab that says visual and text. One of them is more for the HTML code that's behind all web pages, and one's just for the regular WYSIWYG where we're just doing some typing. If you happen not to have two lines of buttons, this one on the far right, the first row called kitchen sink will shift back and forth between one row and two rows. Now I'm just going to type in one of my favorite, I don't talk and type very well at the same time, sorry. One of my favorite comfort foods is the chicken nuggets at this restaurant. And I could add a picture there if I wanted to. I'm going to make it simple right now in the interest of time. Now, WordPress will associate this with an uncategorized post unless you specifically choose one. Now, over here on the right are the list of all my categories. I'll probably have more than you. And I'm going to choose the one that says comfort food by just putting a check beside of it. And again, with the post in WordPress, look for a blue button somewhere. Sometimes it's to the right, sometimes it's at the bottom, depends on what you're doing. In this case, it's over on the right, and I click the word publish. And it will automatically publish it. There may be a delay. Again, my machine may or may not be hiccuping, but at some point it probably will say 3 posts have been done or 45 posts have been done, depending on what. It may be your first one. It may say 1 post has been done. And again, hopefully, this could be my Windows 8 and Windows 7 and WordPress more or less competing with one another. I'm not sure what's going to happen here. And I'm talking and talking and talking. I may end up pausing this video so you're not having to watch a screen just prolong itself. While hopefully it is publishing, I'll do a little stall tactic if this works. You've got the standard buttons in this post area where you can bold and italicize, bullets, you can have underlining, you can add a Word document, you can add an Excel, any Microsoft Office or Google Drive document can be added. You can insert a hyperlink here if you want to. And again, I'm thinking the stalling or the hesitation, the hiccup, it might be because of my Windows 8 trying to adjust to this. And it could be the network situation on campus where, where it could be jumping between NetLabs and, which is our local one in our office area, or the CCC hotspot that all students can access. You won't notice the difference here, but I'm going to put a pause on this video, and if it comes back with when I redo the video, if it comes back as a real low conversation, I'll apologize for that and try to work that out for you. And my update actually did happen. Now, a lot of times over on the left side, it will say something like 40 posts are created or 3 posts or whatever, and you can view it by actually clicking View Post, or you can click the title that's up in the corner or the username, and it will show it to you. Now, again, unless you have the category assigned, it will not show your post, especially if you got a category box like I do. I've got the word comfort food. It will always show the most recent post that you've done because it's a blog setup. So the most recent one, which in my case is today, May 2nd, will show up. I can also go, and if I don't want to look at all the posts that I've done in the history of my site, I can actually go in and just click on the name of the category, and it will show all the posts associated with it. And since there's only one associated with Chick-fil-A food, that's what I have. You need to create some categories and some posts just to make sure you have the functionality, basically, of this WordPress site. Contact me if you have concerns.